Hey ladies, today is Sunday, September 26th, 2021. I am 26 weeks and 5 days pregnant. So that is more than 6.5 months. At 28 weeks, I'll be 7 months. So I am definitely chugging along here, almost to the third trimester. I've been feeling kind of third trimestery for a while now, actually. But yeah, I just feel like uh, I feel so stuffed, for lack of a better word, just stuffed. And so, what am I dealing with now? Well, I, I hate to talk about constipation every time I do a video. But that was a trend with my last pregnancy too. And it's just a situation where I am like always, well, not always, but it's really hard to stay regular. And when you're already feeling stuffed because of a growing child and then feeling uncomfortable because you are constipated, listen, constipation is uncomfortable anyway, but constipation during pregnancy is another thing. Like, yesterday I felt just like I couldn't, I felt like, I was carrying around a boulder basically because I felt so stuffed with this baby and just with constipation. I commend women who have multiples. I have no idea because I can't imagine feeling any more stuff than I do now. And if you have multiples, I'm just assuming you feel even more stuffed, right? Because it's just more of them. So, um, anyway, my ultimate constipation cure for me has been milk and magnesia this pregnancy. I don't think I used it last pregnancy at all. I don't know what I did. I know I did like Marilax more, but Marilax is not as fast acting. Milk and magnesia tends to be more fast acting, although it's not immediate either. Well, it hasn't been. Well, sometimes I've had to take it like at least 4 times during this pregnancy so far. So, 4 or 5 times. So I just, we'll say. But in between taking milk and magnesia, I try to keep my diet pretty high fiber. So that's all I can recommend, high fiber. And when that fails, take whatever approved laxative works for you, like Marilax or milk and magnesia, or Metamucil isn't really a laxative, but because you have to take it daily and um, you have to let it get and build up and like. Well, at least this is how it works for me. When I try Metamucil, it doesn't work right away. It's a situation where I have to take it um, for several days, maybe over a week before it starts to get relief. But then if you constantly take it, it's supposed to work. But normally when I'm not pregnant, yeah, Metamucil is good. But um, it hasn't been as effective for me during pregnancy. Um, so anyway, so that's constipation. Got that out of the way. Nice way to start out. Another thing I wanted to talk about is um, weight gain. Like with my last pregnancy, I gained a total of 22 pounds, and I was happy about that. And I was happy that it came off pretty much immediately. Like immediately. Yes, I did breastfeed, but like the initial pregnancy weight was gone. I don't know, maybe a week to 2 weeks after having her. I have no idea why. It just, if it was just, you have the baby, you have the placenta, you have the extra fluid and extra blood volume. And once that was gone, I went back to normal. And then I think with breastfeeding, I was actually smaller than I was, well, initially before pregnancy. But that's like when you're breastfeeding around the clock and all of that, in the very early stages. As I tapered off, because breastfeeding also does make you hungrier, I found. Um, so as I started to wean, which didn't happen until she was almost 2 anyway, but as I started to wean, it was like, okay, breastfeeding isn't really making you burn that many calories. But in the beginning, when you're breastfeeding a lot, you do burn a lot more calories. But keep in mind, you will also, well, most women also have more of an appetite because you're burning these calories and now you're like feeding two, well, like when you're pregnant, you're feeding two people, but breastfeeding is just different. Like you have this baby, like, your milk, you have to eat, you have to drink a lot of water, you have to eat to make milk, and then for this child, and then to sustain your own self. So, so that's it. But anyway, I've already gained 23 pounds for this pregnancy, and I still have ways to go, and baby still has weight to gain. So, clearly, it was on trend when this pregnancy first started that it was going to be different, and the weight gain was different. And I'm not sure why. I'm still working out. um I'm trying to eat, you know fairly sensibly. I mean, I am pregnant, I need to enjoy it too, right? Part of the good thing about being pregnant is getting to eat, but then you really can't sit around and eat everything all the time and have whatever you want and do whatever you want, because there's all types of other risks that can cause. So it's like this balance. uh I'm not going out as much because I am working from home, so that may be why. My first pregnancy, I was going out every day, or mostly every day, and in addition to working out, so I may have been a little more active. um but listen, it is what it is. Like, I gotta just not worry about it. I just don't want to gain like a ton of weight for it. But 23 pounds. um Yeah, we'll see. I'll keep you posted. That's where I am now, and I'm hoping that'll slow down, but I'm not really sure because baby doesn't gain most of its weight until the third trimester. So, um, yeah, so I'm coming up on the heaviest part. um, what else can I tell you? Yeah, like dry skin. So I suffer from eczema, and keeping my skin, well, normally, which has been actually pretty good in recent years. But keeping my skin hydrated has been really, really, really hard lately. When you get to, around this point, well, again, nothing's everybody. So, but a lot of women tend to suffer from drier skin. And I already had dry skin prior to pregnancy. So when you add this in, I'm like a desert here. So keeping keeping hydrated is really important for dry skin, which I'm still not doing a good job at. And my jug is a gallon of water. This is what I try to drink daily. Most days I do a pretty good job, but not every day. What I do like about the jug is that it has times on it from where you're supposed to be: 7 a.m., 9 a.m., 11 a.m., 1 p.m., 3 p.m., 5 p.m., 7 p.m., and 9 p.m. So it tells you how much water you should have had by a certain point in the day. Of course, that's assuming that you start drinking before 7 a.m. or by 7 a.m. to get to that 7 a.m. mark. I don't. So it's just, I try to get it down as much as possible by the end of the day. So we'll see. I mean, mm, yeah, we'll see. So there's that. What else? Oh, and this is actually, I think, one of the I guess bigger topics. I don't know what to do with my IVF medication. Well, so I was going to do IVF for this pregnancy, and I didn't because I ended up getting pregnant naturally. But I had already purchased all my IVF medication, and I waited not till last minute, but I waited until like I was pretty close to purchase the medication, but I ended up getting pregnant like that same time. So naturally, so while I was waiting for a period that never came because I was already pregnant, I was waiting in a period so I could start my IVF medication, but the period never came because I ended up being pregnant that month. So, now I'm trying to figure out what to do with all this IVF medication, which is completely unopened, completely unused. I mean, my first pregnancy, I did do IVF and I had some extra medication that was unused. And I ended up honestly wasting it. I ended up just trashing it. And I don't want to do that this time. I felt horrible doing that last time. But, you're not really supposed to give away medication. You know. So I don't know what to do. I have all of this. Like, at least last time I used some of it. This time I haven't used any of it. So I have a full, complete cycle's worth. Maybe more, maybe less, depending on how much your dosage. But I have, like, all this medication. I've gone on F, everything, Cetratide, everything. And they're in the refrigerator. So I've had to keep them refrigerated. Certain things have to be refrigerated. Certain things can be room temperature. And so I've been storing everything properly since I received it. But now I'm trying to figure out what to do with it. Now well, I shouldn't really call it because I didn't really use them this time. But the reproductive doctor that I was going to, their office does, they will take the donation, but I don't know if they're like, I can give them this medication. I don't know if they're going to give it to somebody else or if they're just going to use it for, I don't know, like demo purposes, because sometimes they do like classes where they demo the medications. I mean, I guess it's better than it being trashed. So yeah, that's a possibility. But I would like to think that it would go to help somebody else with a cycle, or help somebody else who doesn't have, listen, it can be, IVF is can be super expensive. Um, and I've already purchased, like I said, I already purchased all the medication, so it's a waste for me money wise. It is what it is. But I'm just trying to figure out, I'm sorry, my lips are so dry. I keep trying to moisturize them and nothing's working. I feel like I said, I'm like the Sahara, like my hands are, I don't know if you can tell, but I'm getting like eczema breakouts on my hands from from constantly washing them because everything with, the world. And then when you add in this pregnancy, that created the eczema because they're severely dry. And lotion is just not helping. And I haven't had any eczema flare-ups in a while. Well, actually, my last eczema flare-up was during my last pregnancy. So anyway, we'll get past that. So if I really want to, I have to go to the doctor and see about getting some cream to like treat these eczema flare-ups specifically. But that aside, IVF medication. So I'm trying to figure out what to do with the IVF medication. So I don't know if I should just donate it to the doctor's office and not really care what happens to it, because it's better than to get better than it getting trashed. Or if I should try to find someone to give it to. But again, it is not recommended that people take other people's medications, yada, 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 da, 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 da. You know, all these disclaimers that go with that. I'm not selling it. Like I said, the boxes are completely sealed and unused. And not just that, I mean, I have all these sealed, like, I have the full package that they send with all the syringes and the sharps containers and all, because I didn't use any of it. Like, you know, so the syringes and the needles and all of that, and the medications, everything that comes, because I didn't use any of it this time. So I need to figure out what to do with it. Yeah. So anyway, it's either going to go to my doctor's office so that they can either give it away or use it for demonstration purposes when they teach people how to do the medications, or maybe someone will reach out to me and say they want it before I, you know, get rid of it. I guess I don't want to trash anything this time, medication wise. I felt so bad doing that last time. Last time I had Follistim, and I had all this extra Follistim, and I just, you know, threw it out. So I don't want to do that this time. But anyway, I'll figure it out. So, all right, ladies, that's where I am. And I'll continue to keep you posted, and stay safe, and we'll talk soon.